All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Jonathan.
Officially open the FCAT Board of Directors meeting for the evening of Tuesday, September 23rd at 5:30 p.m. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from our March meeting, our May meeting, our July meeting, and our August meeting. Do we have minutes, Maureen, or do we
Um,
table that until
yeah,
December?
let me look back. I mean, I'm sorry, I forgot about getting it ready. So I have to go back in my emails. I'll look for it.
All right. On that note, we will table that until our November meeting, which will be our next board meeting. On that note, I will now do my general manager's report. General manager's report for September 23rd, 2025. With the coming of autumn and summer now behind us, FCAT is now hard at work covering a variety of events. As school is in session, FCAT has begun recording sporting events and other functions. And with government meetings now recurring on a weekly basis, this station is hard at work covering these. Along with its usual event duties, the station has also been working to oversee its contract negotiations with Comcast for the towns of Deerfield, Sunderland, and Whately. For school-related projects, FCAT has started covering home autumn sports games for the school. At the moment, FCAT is only recording and uploading the games online, as we are currently trying to find an alternative means to stream the games to the web. Once a solution can be found, FCAT will once again start streaming the games to our YouTube page again. Despite this minor hurdle, the overall production quality of the sports coverage is exceptional and well done. There are several very talented students who are volunteering to work with our youth outreach coordinator, Kevin Murphy, in covering these school functions. In addition, FCAT recently hired Kay Nieto Gonzalez, a very talented media artist and a former FCAT student volunteer who will be working on many of these school broadcasts. Kai actually replaces for another employee who ended up taking a job in Florida and relocating. For non-school related projects, FCAT will be covering select board meetings for the towns of Sutherland, Conway, and Deerfield, and also covering special government meetings put on by the four towns. For those who don't know Whately's meetings, the select board meetings are covered by the town utilizing their own camera owl, or owl camera, excuse me. Other events consist of historical society lectures, library talks, and other community presentations that are being recorded and produced by Sarah Wentworth and Morgan Hoyle Coombs. Along with this, FCAT is bringing on a student intern from UMass Amherst who will be working with FCAT staff to build their professional portfolios and also get college credit. Earlier in September, FCAT hosted a table at a UMass internship fair and shared with students a new internship program the station is trying out this fall semester. The student will work with FCAT to produce media and work for their portfolios, and in return, FCAT will provide a gas stipend and also college credit to them. In the area of capital and technology upgrades, FCAT is in the process of automating the coverage of Deerfield meetings, which will allow for the more coverage of meetings. Employee hours that were used to cover a single select board meeting will now be put to use to produce a week's worth of Deerfield government meetings, consisting of the four select board meetings, but also finance committee meetings, ZBA committee meetings, planning board meetings, etc. Once the Deerfield project is complete, FCAT is going to put a hold on the meeting upgrade projects so that capital money can be put towards a new channel server needed to provide the four HD channels FCAT will be broadcasting to our four towns. Once a new channel delivery server is purchased, FCAT will resume upgrading the meeting coverage technology. More on that in a little bit. One of the big projects currently underway is the contract negotiations for the town of Deerfield, Sunderland, and Whately. While this is overseen by the three-town cable negotiation committee, which consists of a representative from each of the three towns, excluding Conway because they're not part of this, FCAT's general manager, who's yours truly, is representing our station on the committee and making sure that the station's needs are met. The next step for these negotiations is a public hearing and open house FCAT will be hosting on the evening of Tuesday, October 7th. Overall, much progress has been made towards the station's future. The station is fully staffed and is also looking to bring on a UMass student intern to give them professional experience working with MCAT. And of course, progress is being made towards the contract negotiations, and a contract will be ready by December 2026. Overall, this Adam is going to be a very busy but exciting time for the station. And that is my general manager's report. Is there any questions?
Jonathan, my only question would be if anyone is confused about why Conway's not part of this, and there's
Because
history there.
Conway's contract was negotiated already. This is the contract negotiations for Deerfield, Sunderland, and Whately.
Right, and a lot of people on the board haven't been around to know the history of why Conway is not part of it.
The understanding that I have,
No, you're
there you are. We lost somebody else. I'm not sure, but the understanding that I have is that originally when FCAT was founded back in 2006 or 2008, it would consist of Deerfield, Sunderland, and Whately, with an invitation for Conway to come join later. Conway did join later, and because the three towns were negotiating, and because they joined at a later date, their contract is negotiated at a different time than Deerfield, Sunderland, and Whately.
Conway actually was part of FCAT, but we were not. But we didn't we didn't receive any kind of the subsidy from the government or from Comcast. You know,
Right.
So we actually were a free rider. FCAT was good enough not to charge Conway any money for us, but FCAT did publish. You know, they did publish our board meetings and things like that, and I'll say for free, and it was very generous of them. And
Really, I
and
didn't know
so Conway eventually during that year we did negotiate our own agreement with Comcast and but so we're out of sync, and generally these contracts are always 10-year contracts, and so the other three towns always do their contract, and Conway has done it out of sync. And then last time we did a contract we were really hoping we could get them in sync, but it's very difficult to do. So anyway, that's why Conway seems to be out of sync with the other three towns.
so. And actually, you'll be happy to know, Bob, that the new server, which was the next subject on our agenda that we're looking to purchase, will finally bring you the HD channel. So that's
Well,
the next.
the other towns are going to have HD right away. Also, it's not
Right.
Whately will probably have it before Conway.
Well, we're hoping that the new channels, in order to do that, we're going to need to get a new server to get the signal out. And actually, that's the next part of our agenda, which is
Jonathan, before you jump into that, is this contract negotiation going to be going on for the next 15 months? You said
you mean like
December
in the past?
of 2026.
Yeah.
That's when the Marines. I need to read Marine 1 moment. So actually, that's actually another item of on the agenda, is a little update on that and a little bit more of a discussion on that after the channel server thing. But to briefly answer your question, I think we're hoping to have it ready before then. Yeah, that's we'll talk about like the hearing and stuff that's coming up on October 7th. So, and that's another Tuesday night. So that's 2 nights from tonight. And there was a posting recently to the newspapers and also to the to all the towns about it as well. And that Joyce Palmer Fortune oversaw, because she's sort of spearheading that committee.
Very well, thank you.
So the next thing is an update on the new channel server. And I've invited Charlie Page from Teleview. Hello, Charlie. Thank you for joining us. One thing that Charlie did is we got together to discuss the new server from Teleview, which I'm very interested in. And Charlie sent me a quote for it. I have not signed it because I wanted to go over it with the board and also discuss how we're gonna finance it as well too, and see what possibilities there are with like the contract negotiations as well. But Charlie's here to give an overview of this server. Charlie, do you need to share get access to screen
Yeah,
share?
if you would allow me.
All right, I will do that. Let me see.
Thank you, everyone, for letting me do a little show and tell here. I've got a short PowerPoint that'll give you an overview of the company and what we do. Telview has been around for about over 35 years now,
I
serving.
think you should be able to share your screen, Charlie, so.
Let's see, share. It's send request.
All right, I will allow you. All right, there you go.
Okay, share. And
There we go.
everybody see that?
Yes.
Yep.
And I will try to go in slideshow mode. But no,
I'll go slideshow. It should let you
share. Sharing, I don't want it. Meeting. Does it?
I see it by, isn't it by your
In slide share mode, does it open
there
up
we
a
go.
new
Sorry.
window?
there you go.
Technology, love it. This is just kind of a quick overview of our company and kind of where we're coming from. As I mentioned, we've been serving the hyper local broadcast market, colleges, universities, community access stations for over 35 years. We're a 100% employee owned company. And our different products include a playout and automation system, streaming encoders to provide streaming content to the web, digital signage for community bulletin boards, as well as live captioning, graphics, and other devices to provide streaming services. Our cloud services include video on demand and live streaming for the web, mobile apps, over-the-top apps. We have a service that allows content sharing, sort of a parking lot in the cloud where access centers can share content. And we have developed very good smart caption, is what we call multi-language automatic captioning software for broadcast files and video on demand. We can also do translations, and we have several other products that work with the closed captioning. And we provide professional or broadcast level products for fast channels and as well as cable systems and satellite companies. Our main goals are to help access centers save time, expand their footprint to new viewers, and make it very accessible for them to find their content and even to monetize the very valuable content that you're creating in ways with subscriptions or paywalls or video ads, or being able to segment programs for sponsorship acknowledgments. All ways to kind of help all of these systems be sustainable for the long term. We have several advantages in the marketplace, we think. Our systems are very simple to operate, very intuitive. The rules-based automation can save time, streamline the process for scheduling programming. We've integrated many of the features into one workflow, so you have less steps to do things. For social media streaming, our systems are Linux-based, which make them very reliable, very robust. We have servers in the Department of Defense providing services for them, as well as inside Comcast, which is probably even more secure for providing security and reliability. We provide also mobile apps and ways to expand your distribution of your content, as well as with the closed captioning for multiple languages, and a lot of cloud-based features where it makes sense to be doing things in the cloud. The most important feature that we are selling is really our support and reliability. Being Linux-based, it's very reliable. We have tech support available 24/7, 365. We know things go wrong on a Saturday night when you're trying to do big events, and Telview is there to help keep you on the air. We have training resources on our website with video tutorials, long-form webinars pre-recorded, a documentation with a knowledge base, as well as a full-time trainer available to get everybody up to speed and comfortable with the new features, or if there's someone brought on board that you want to get up to speed, we have the training that is ongoing. And we also do major software upgrades several times a year that are all covered with the tech support, and those are provided. Telview technicians do the upgrades so that we make sure they go through correctly and everything is working, and they get scheduled on your schedule. So that is pretty much an overview of the Telview products and services. Have you shared the specifics of the proposal that I sent you, as like the diagram or the worksheets or specifics of the proposal?
I did forward that to the board. Does the board have any questions about that? I think Father Kerber may have gotten sent to your old email address, so I will get you a new, I will forward that to you a little bit later. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Jonathan, could you send that again?
I can go on to the computer and send it real quick.
Now or another day, but
I can do it right.
I can take you through kind of an overview of what the system's going to look like.
I can send it to you everybody right now.
okay, that'd be great.
If you want to go over and do the, yes, that's the stuff.
Yeah. This is kind of a representation of how everything's going to go together. Things on the left side are inputs. Our systems are IP in and IP out. They can do SDI out, but we can also bring in SDI sources as well as IP sources. IP streams like Facebook, YouTube. There's a plethora of URLs out there that people can bring in. This really gives you flexibility for bringing in live content to share with your community. The info view is our digital signage platform. It provides news information for your community to run between programming. And it can be remotely accessed to update content, or you can allow remote content providers to like SPCA or different organizations to have different kinds of content on the bulletin board. The Hypercaster is the brains of the operation. It's a 2-rack unit box, so there's really not much space needed in the racks. We have software modules within the Hypercaster to record the IP streams that come in, that provide audio adjustments for the calm loudness control, that do archiving that integrates with the workflow seamlessly and can be automated to archive content. We have modules that provide the closed captioning, the Smart Caption Live. The outputs would be SDI to the cable systems. We can provide, the way it's configured now, we provide 3 SDI channels out, 1 HD out, but any of the SD channels can be converted to HD with software modifications. You don't need to buy anything else to have HD content output for everything. Our streaming platform is an integrated streaming encoder, which is a software module within the Hypercaster. It will provide live streaming to social media like Facebook, YouTube, as well as to the video on demand website called Cloudcast. That is a iframe that can be embedded in your website to provide video on demand on your website for your viewers that you have control of, and also a live stream on your website for your viewers. We can provide Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire over-the-top apps that are all going to be branded for your content, and that replicates the video on demand live streaming content that's available on your website. The other Connect is a free service that is your membership with Mass Access. They have a free file sharing service called the MMX that we support. Content that's been shared there can be automatically downloaded into the server for playback on your channels. So it's a very integrated system. We try to minimize the steps to do things, to make them, you put our metadata, the program information on the file once, and it stays with the file wherever it gets moved. I think I sent you a bunch of references as well. That's pretty much the overview of the system. Any questions?
It all sounds great.
Jonathan and I went over pretty thoroughly all of the options and the proposal that we put together for him. I think will meet all of your needs, as well as offering you the ability to expand. And if you wanted to add more things, we have the capability to do that. And we're always introducing new features for the closed captioning. One of the new features we just introduced is a AI platform to create summaries and
No, did somebody just
agenda items.
There's echo.
Yes, there is. Wonder how.
Does somebody have, Jonathan, do you have 2 computers near each
There
other?
should be.
Yeah. The AI will take the text, the closed captioning text of a meeting, and summarize it, and as well as create agenda items that are available on the website. This certainly helps with civic engagement for people that really wanted to see just one agenda item in a meeting and don't necessarily want to go through the 3 hours to get to theirs, they can jump right to it. It provides you a way to also kind of promote the meetings. This is what we covered this week. If you want to see the whole meeting, go to our website. And just more ways to provide news, information about your community locally.
Okay, I do have a question.
Sure.
This might be for John. If we were to draw this very well done, what do you call it? A
It's a
chart,
workflow diagram. It's just kind of,
workflow diagram. Thank you. What would ours look like currently? And what are the limitations of doing it that way that we need to overcome? And how does this solve those problems? And is it appropriate? Is it overkill? It looks like it might do more than we need. That might be okay. I mean, that's fine. I don't know cost. I don't know what our budget is either. So I'm just putting this out there. I'd be curious to know how what the workflow looks like at this point. And I'm not expecting an answer right now,
Yeah,
but it would help me wrap my head around comparing this workflow diagram to what we have.
I can tell you a couple of things.
Yeah.
With comparing, this system is newer than your current one, and with technology, generations go by and very quickly. So we've got the latest software operating system. We also have instituted many automation features that are not available on your current system. That will speed up your scheduling process, so less time is spent with minutia, and they can go out and do creative things. It gives you more ways to reach people with the various over-the-top apps, because not everybody's watching cable these days.
Yep.
There are streaming ways to reach the viewers that you don't have currently. And the tech support that is available 24/7. I don't think any one of our competitors offers that. So those are three things. And if you got into the minutia of the process of uploading content, prepping it, entering the metadata, scheduling it, and maneuvering it, managing it for your archiving and streaming and video on demand, I think our automation features will outdo that, what you currently have. We just actually hired a gentleman that used to work for the Castus system that you're currently using. And one of the comments he made to me that is our automation system is very far ahead of what they have currently offered. So yes, it does a lot of stuff. You guys can discuss all of the options. It's very modular, so you don't have to do it all at once. You could add it on as you go along, but it all integrates together. It provides a pretty seamless workflow to provide the channels for your communities.
Okay, so some of this is hardware, correct?
The hardware, yes. The hardware is the LiveView encoder, which is not our product. It's a remote web encoder. Anywhere that you have an internet connection, you can now have a live stream. So if you wanted to do a live show from a library,
Yep,
or any place, a gymnasium, any place that had an internet connection, that LiveView can create a stream that can be sent over the open internet to the hypercaster, where it will decode it and play it back over the air. It's sort of like a remote truck. There used to be you needed a satellite truck
yeah,
to be able to do that. Now, using the internet, this cigar box size encoder can provide that. So that's a portable piece of hardware.
Right, third-party products such
Yeah.
as, give me an example, Monarch, is that one of them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a web encoder that would also, they can create web streams that we can decode.
Okay,
The InfoView is a one rack unit box. The network switch would be in your rack as a network switch. The Hypercaster is a two rack unit box piece of hardware. And then whatever you're using right now for SDI encoders, I think you're
all
down
right,
converting
where's the,
from SDI to analog for the cable system. So there's
oh, I see. Never mind. Okay, so I see a Telview Hypercaster B2000. Okay,
Yeah.
so that gets you what you need to go out through Comcast.
Yes. Everything else here is software. The encoders, all of the features within the Hypercaster, the scheduling Hypercaster software management system, and then their cloud products for the live streaming and over the top apps.
Yeah.
So that's
So
kind of,
yeah, so John, do we have is the Casta system is it becoming obsolete? Is the hardware becoming
Well,
funky?
one of the
What's
reasons why it is becoming obsolete is because it cannot broadcast HD.
yeah,
The hardware, I guess, they were even saying that Cassis was saying that it's time to start looking into upgrading it because it's coming on to be almost, I think, 10 years old.
yeah,
I know Chris bought the Cassis, I think the same year I was brought on, or maybe the year before, which was either 2016 or 2017. I was hired in 2017, so I think it was around that time. So it's coming up on 10 years old, and it does have some issues. One issue that it has is, and for anybody who watches the channels, has probably known this: a program will be playing, and all of a sudden it cuts to black, and the bulletin board music cuts on, and that's
Yep.
become a frequent thing.
oh yeah,
I
yep,
know other, I'm not gonna say who, but I know of at least two other public access station managers who have the same system, the Castis, and they've made the same complaints about it.
huh,
So it's nothing unique to us.
okay. I thought you just had a funky RCA cable.
No, if that was the case, it'd be static, but it seems to
No, I
be
know,
that situation with the device itself.
I know. I'm always speculating. Oh,
It started after they did a
DVD
software
shipping.
upgrade too, which was odd because before the upgrade, they never did it. And then once they did that upgrade, it was very noticeable. And at one point it's been pretty bad to where programs were unwatchable. It hasn't been as bad recently, but it's
Yep.
still concerning to me that's going on.
Okay, all right.
and you got
And
to
so-
remember this server has been running 24/7, 365 since it was turned on. So,
Yes,
Shut
that's
it down every fiscal quarter. At the beginning, I'm gonna be shutting it down next week for a little at midnight. Some nights there's nights I go out and stay out late, then I just come back around midnight and turn it off and turn it on again to reset it.
huh. Okay. Hey, so and this server will live in a new place too, because you've talked about relocating.
We tried to move it here, Sunderland Town Hall, however, I don't know if that's gonna be quite doable at the moment, because it's moving very slow to get the infrastructure in place to do that, and it sounds like the town, that building is still gonna be used for the building where the current setup is, the equipment's already there to broadcast it. And it sounds like that building, even though they are, maybe Blake could fill us in a little bit more afterwards since he's a select board member for Deerfield. But it sounds like that building is gonna be, still will be in use a little bit after the town offices move out of there, so. Blake, can you comment on that?
Right now, that building's being evaluated for the senior center, along with the one on Amherst Road in Sunderland. And even if the senior center doesn't move in there, there'll still be some offices in there anyways, as far as I know now. For how long they'll be in there, I don't know.
So.
But I know you're safe for a couple of years anyways.
So I think maybe we should just keep it in there and see what happens for now, and if need be, we kind of see when it's time to pull it out. We can get a lot of time, we'll have the time to set something up at another location, whether it's here in Sunderland Town Hall or at the Frontier Regional School, or maybe in the new town office over there. But for now, I think it should just, because too, Bob has been stating he wants to get the channel for HD, which is understandable. It should just go into the new location for now, unless we can work with Comcast to get the new Sunderland office space set up. But that's something we'll have to bring up at the next cable negotiations meeting. So.
Okay, so, I'm,
Ideally, I would love to have it relocated here to the Sunderland Town office, so our operation is centralized in one location. Coming to realize now with just how slow that portion of the project is moving, that may not be possible right now. So.
and you would use the same, I don't even honestly know how the signal gets from where you are over to Deerfield to then hit the server and do what it does.
They would have to install the fiber, which would be another thing. Well, I think the infrastructure is already in place over there to do it, if I recall.
Okay, so currently it's not fiber, it's coax,
I'm not quite sure.
like broadband
I
coax.
think it'd be, but I'm not sure.
All right.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Verizon is putting the fiber in now in certain areas, but we've had fiber in the town as well. So I know that the town hall, the library, all the rest of them are going to be under fiber anyway. So including the station and all the rest of it.
It sounds like then for now that's probably where it should go then, because of the infrastructure's already there. And like I said, this is going to be a huge investment, plus with the negotiations, that we should probably make use of the infrastructure that's already available to us. So.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk dollars and cents, I guess. I have no idea what all this costs and how things look.
It's gonna be a quote, which I have not signed, because again, I want to get the board's feedback on everything. And how much was it for? I can pull up.
Well, and also we want to kind of know what things look like with Comcast
Right.
with our upcoming contract, and what money we have for it.
Right.
And what the needs are going to be. It all sounds good. What is the future? Is the station self-sustaining? And in other words, are there a lot of eyeballs? Are we still relevant in 2025 and beyond? I mean, I kind of think we are. That's why but I don't know.
And that is actually the big question every community access center is asking.
Yeah.
And we want to provide the tools for you to do whatever you all want to do. Every community is going to be different. So the tools that you need, we're going to try to provide them for you. Some places are going heavy into news as a way, or
Right.
high school sports as a way to maintain relevancy. Some places are doing paywalls where if you want to watch the high school sports, you have to subscribe because it's free on cable, but it doesn't necessarily,
The way
streaming is not necessarily what they're paying for.
The way I envision FCAT, and I know I've mentioned this, but I see FCAT as sort of a C-SPAN / PBS for the towns of Conway, Deerfield, Sunderland, and Whately. We record public events as they happen. We record meetings, and we also do short films or highlight reels on specific events as well. And we bring that to and share it with the community for both educational and documentation purposes, but also in some cases entertainment purposes. And it's cool to have a highlight reel that people see themselves in or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the vision that I see the station. The problem that I see with doing news is because we are funded on public money, once you start getting people with opinions, that can be an issue because not everybody's going to want
Well,
it doesn't matter what side it leans on. It's still public money. You're supposed to be apolitical, the way I see it. So that's why I view this as sort of a C-SPAN slash PBS type thing.
Yeah. And I guess another reason I bring that up is just because there's so much content and competition for our attention out there with all of what the web and all the channels and all the platforms and the podcasts and everything else. But maybe if we're good, then we compete with that. And I think we have a unique position to provide unique content. And if we can leverage that, then I think, it's worth a go. And like what we've done with you've got the podcast studio that I think needs to.
You get people to come use it. I mean, I have some shows I want to do, but I'm just, again, too busy.
Right. I know. Everyone's busy.
yeah, one of the features of our system is when you upload content to the video on demand, it can create a podcast. It can strip out the audio, so you could provide a podcast of that program as well as the video on demand. So that just another way to kind of make your work easier. You don't have to export the file, create the audio file, and re-import it. It can all be done within the system.
Jonathan, or perhaps Charlie, do you have any insight into whether the revenue we get from Comcast is going to get extended to include streaming or internet only customers?
Not currently, because they're trying to get that streaming bill passed, which would give us revenue from it.
It's still in process. Some states have had success with it. Massachusetts is probably going to be, if anybody does it, it'll be in Massachusetts, because there's just the community access is really integrated into so many towns' fiber.
Yeah.
For meetings and sports and cooking shows and book reviews and other really community kinds of programming.
That's what's going to determine whether we have revenue as people drop cable.
Well, yeah, but we're looking at ways to meet them on the web too. Meet them streaming, provide the access for your channel on the streaming platform as well. So, and different ways to be able to create value for your content.
I did also attend, Kevin Murphy and I attended a conference in Boston this past summer, and there's different revenue platforms we could start to explore as well to help generate a little extra. We just need to make sure that we can do it, and also that, like for instance, if we're going to set up like a paywall feature for sports, like talk to the sports department and set up a deal with them and all, and just
the closed captioning feature is also, if you wanted to have underwriting, closed captioning is very sponsorable. Broadcast guys have been doing it for decades, that you can have on-air announcements that funding for closed captioning provided in a part from a grant from some hospital insurance company lawyer that does senior law, or even grants from other foundations to provide closed captioning. The Council on Aging should be very good about helping you with the closed captioning as well.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Will we have to get a sales department to go in there and try to sell things like that? I mean, we don't have that currently.
Well, it, maybe it'll be the board's responsibility. Uh, nah, it would be nice to have a salesperson, and that may be how it evolves. It may that there is a salesperson that handles multiple access centers. There are, I was looking at a website in Springville, Alabama, and their high school football team has sponsorships and underwriting for t-shirts and ads at the concession stands and banners in the outfield and coaches show and the on-air show, and town of 5,000 was going to generate about $100,000 for the athletic department and for all of their underwriting to support high school sports. Now that's probably an extreme example, but New Hampshire has been doing a lot with high school sports because there is people want to see high school sports. And you can figure out umpteen different ways to monetize it and help pay for it. The booster clubs, as well as doing sponsorship and underwriting.
Well, we do have the bulletin board, John.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
You could get the word out that way, and what was I thinking?
I have to research how to do it, but we are allowed to do like, but we have to be careful to make sure it's not like advertising things, but we give like a thank you, like captions provided by such and such type deal. So-
Yeah, well, it's underwriting, so it's a
Yeah,
little
it's underwriting.
categorically a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, it's just a little sponsorship.
It's underwriting, not sponsorship. And that's PBS on their website has their rules outlining guidelines for underwriting on PBS. I've borrowed those before and whittled them down to make sense for community access center. No price an item, you can't use superlatives, just some guidelines like that. And if you've ever watched This Old House and watched a 2-minute spiel on pods for storage, they know how to do it.
Yep. Sure.
And it's all production stuff that we all do every day.
All right.
So. Now the quote, and I'm certainly not gonna sign anything yet because we want to talk about through our board and the work, but the quote that Charlie sent me, I think was around 100,000 for this. So, and I need to see what options are available, just what we could do through the Comcast negotiations. So I'm gonna research funding it a little much further before we do anything like that, just so everybody knows.
I think I priced it as a 5-year turnkey.
Okay,
Did we do that way?
yes, so,
Yes. This would be a 5-year. There are ongoing expenses, but I rolled that into this to make it a 5-year turnkey deal. And you could break out some of them as annual fees if you wish. But like I said, we're very modular, very, different ways to work within what you guys want to do.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking with other town accountants to see how much capital money's available, so maybe we could get some reimbursement for that from our 4 towns, and of course, be doing a lot of research, and we can talk at probably our next meeting about what the board feels and stuff after I get this information and bring them back.
Have any of the towns talked about CPA money, the Community Preservation Fund?
I didn't even think of that actually, so that's a discussion worth having is maybe looking into funds like that. The one thing I know when I talked to Peter S. Kane about it, he's the town administrator of Whately. He made the comment too, they wasn't sure because of if we were to use money from the PEG fund, if we would have to, if it would have to be voted on at town meeting type deal. So that's another thing to consider too, is if we were to purchase this, like if we would need to have like votes at town meeting. So that, and also the question comes to is how we want to divide up the cost. Do we have, if we do use capital funds and money, do we divide it up in 5 ways? So FCAT pays a fifth, the other towns pay a fifth, or do we divide it up in as a percentage of how much they pay towards their budget? Like if 25% of our budget comes from Deerfield, but Deerfield pays 25%, but some Conway pays like 5% of our budget. Do we, if you get where I'm going with this, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that's the actual percentage of how much it is. I was just using that as an example. So I'm going to be researching ways within this coming month to finance this and pay for it. And certainly I'm open to other ideas like the CPA and all as well too, and what would be required to use that.
The closed captioning feature also, that would fall under the ADA requirements for communities to provide those services. There's new rulings coming down from the Department of Justice and on the ADA rules that will be requiring towns to provide accessible websites, and any communications like videos should have closed captioning included. And there may be funding available through the accessibility departments of some of the communities. Just another thought.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, well,
Thank
any
you,
other
Charlie.
questions for Charlie or me before we move on? So
I'll be available to email, or you can give me a call if you have any other questions come up while you're in your discussions.
Charlie's email is in the quote that I and information that I sent to everybody, so you can contact him like that. So,
And
all right. Well, thank you, Charlie, for coming and helping me to present this.
Yeah.
So you know what's
my
happening.
pleasure. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. I really appreciate you letting me do the pitch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
We won't pester you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the next subject on our agenda is an update on the Campbell franchise negotiations for the towns of Deerfield, Sutherland, and Whately, and this will answer Waz's question a little bit more. So the next big thing that we're doing, and this finally got finalized this week, is we are going to be hosting, and this is required. I remember we did one for Conway a few years ago when you guys went through the negotiations, Bob, is we need to host a hearing. We're going to do that here at actually in the Sunderland town meeting room. And since it happens to be in the same location, we're also going to host an open house to sort of show off the station an hour before. And we'll serve pizza and cookies and veggie and maybe a veggie platter or so to get people to come check out the station for the towns of Deerfield, Sutherland, and Whately. People from Conway are of course me and Marine are of course welcome to come attend the open house and even stay for the hearing, but that's part of the negotiations that Bill Solomon leads. And once we have the hearing, we'll be negotiating this contract, which is being overseen by Joyce Palmer Fortune of Whately. She's overseeing the committee. We also have John Pajork Sr., who's representing Deerfield. And I also believe Dan Murphy from Sunderland, who's representing Sunderland. They're sort of overseeing what the residents need. I'm sort of here to help present the vision of the studio and to provide the access that we need in technology requirements. And I'll be certainly bringing up our next meeting is scheduled for Friday. However, it's either going to be this Friday or it's going to be October 4th or 3rd, the next Friday. Excuse me, which is the day before the hearing to help sort of finalize everything. For the hearing, what I'm going to be preparing is I'm going to be getting postings up on the bulletin board. I will be getting a poster made for the open housing hearing. I'm also going to be reaching out to Kevin Murphy to see about getting former students to come and testify about how FCAT has been helpful to them. And I'll also be getting a press release out to send off to the Greenfield Recorder, see if we could try to get an article in the either before and or after to try and get draw interest in the importance of community media and everything we do for not just the 3 towns, but also Conway too, because Conway is part of FCAT. So, are there any questions regarding the cable negotiations? Yes, Maureen.
No, I just want to say, I don't know why, but I keep getting kicked out of the Zoom meeting. So
Oh.
I finished, I keep coming back in, but I wrote up the minutes as much as I could. I mean, basically, I think I got most of it, but
Right. I am recording this and it is going to be
Oh.
posted to YouTube, so we'll send you that.
oh, okay, cool. And then I also did email everybody the minutes from March and January. I don't know if I have July's. I don't remember if I was there or not, but I'll look for July's. Because I always send it out.
You have recordings of all the meetings, so I'll send you them
Oh,
tomorrow,
okay,
Thursday.
perfect. So in case I get kicked out, bye.
Okay,
Jonathan,
yes,
I want to make a comment about the hearing, and
Okay.
so it's so this hearing is really not an FCAT responsibility. This hearing is being done by the lawyer who's running the renegotiations and the towns. But
yes,
people in all of our communities view us, or often will come to us and want to talk about things that aren't our responsibility.
I know.
And the hearing is difficult because people want it to be different than it's allowed to be by law. So the lawyer will help guide the 3 towns through the hearing. People are invited to come and speak. They often want to ask questions. Comcast has to be there. They're not required to
Elaine
answer
is
any
gonna be there.
questions. And there's things that the hearing will not address. People are not allowed to ask about programming. People are not allowed to ask about costs. There isn't much that people can stand up and testify about in the hearing, and they can say, I'm not happy. But
We're hoping what it's going to do is get people to reflect on how community media has been important in providing the services such as access to government meetings, has helped people, and why we need to continue to be funded. I am prepared after attending the common one that we're probably may get a few people who want to complain about their bills. So
So it'll be the lawyer's responsibility to manage that. And if you'll do some of that, that's up to you. But FCAT is not this is not an FCAT thing. This renegotiation by the towns, it often FCAT plays a role, schedules meetings, has the meetings held at FCAT, as a central location, because we're involved with all the towns. But it's not FCAT's responsibility to complete this negotiation.
Right, we're hosting it here because this has been sort of the meeting location for the 3 towns, and because since it's telecommunications related, it's a good spot, and because of the whole thing, the fact that we are like doing something in the open house and that does pertain to this, we're sort of taking advantage of the opportunity to show off the open house. So, but I do realize that too, what you just stated.
Yeah.
So,
The people in your towns might call you up and want to talk about the hearing, or they might, after the hearing, they might call you up and want to say that was terrible, or I didn't get to say my piece, or whatever. And it's all very regulated by federal law, and Bill will manage it.
Right. I am going to review the one from Conway a few years ago, probably tomorrow or Friday or Thursday, and revisit it just to sort of see how it was done, so I know what to expect with this one and what I need to do, so.
Great.
Are there any other questions regarding this, comments? All right,
How are we going to make progress on the server? What's going to happen with that?
are we gonna do what?
The server. What are the next steps for approving, not approving? You're gonna talk about money. I mean, you're gonna find out from the towns what kind of sources they can provide for money.
Right, including Conway, and I'm gonna look into what
Yeah.
resources are there, so that's what I'm gonna do with that, and of course, with the cable negotiations, we'll see what's available through maybe Comcast or whatever. So, not at the hearing, of course, but at the October 4th meeting. So the next question I have is a little on our agenda is changing how we do reimbursements for employees. So we get right now what we do is when an employee gets permission to buy something for his studio for either a shoot or crafts. Like Kevin will get crafts for the kids, or he'll need to get like a wire last minute. What they do is they submit a receipt and we have a check written. What I would like to do with the board's permission, and I talked to the accountants about how to do this, is do an ACH payment. Maybe you know that's how we do our payroll, is everything is direct deposit. And I talked to the accountants, and what I would be interested in doing is doing the reimbursements in a similar fashion, which just deposited directly into the account. I make up an Excel sheet with all the itemized expenses that just get documented. They get sent to the person that received the reimbursement as well as to the accountant, and it's documented. I wanted the board's permission to move forward with that. That would help expedite the process. One of the reasons that brings us on is we sent an employee a check for reimbursements back in I think it was March or April. They didn't get it until 6 months later. It apparently got lost in the mail. And by that point, it couldn't get caught. And then the board member, Bob, had to come and sign it again, basically. I was curious if this is something that would be all right to move forward with, or if the board would prefer that we just continue doing the signing the checks and mailing them.
I mean, I'd be fine if I don't have to come down and sign all those checks. But where would the money come from? Would there be like a revolving account we'd put money in, or?
And it just comes out of our bank account, the same way we do payroll, basically. It would actually be done on the same day as payroll, as a separate deposit. So it would come out of the same place where the checks come out of.
How about a petty cash account? What type of reimbursements are we providing?
So like sometimes Kevin will buy, like if he's like filming a sports for students, or he's doing like a shoot with the kids, he'll buy like a pizza and we reimburse them for those and all. It's just stuff like that. Or if he needs to get like a extension cord because the one broke and he needs to go buy one, we can just reimburse him in that manner.
Petty cash account, would that work? I'm just throwing it out as a suggestion.
The problem with doing a cash account is you have to like document the cash really harder. Like you can administer it, but then the cash that is spent has to be returned type deal and stuff like that. We don't really have it set up to an ATM or debit system set up. Everything is either ACH or direct deposits, or it's by credit card. The reason why I pushed for that in no cash was it's just easier to document the transactions as opposed to sending out cash, which is harder for a business like this. It's a little harder to keep track of and make sure it gets returned when it needs to. Everything's just documented.
Very well.
What kind of maximum could we set for this?
Oh, anything, I mean, anything over $50 or whatever they would have to get permission from me, and you
Okay.
know. And everybody needs to ask me before buying something. And then they submit the receipt.
That
I have
sounds
no
good. I think it would
objection.
save a lot, of you trying to get checks signed.
Yes.
All those little reimbursement checks.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so, is there a motion to, accept that?
So move.
Aye.
Second,
Or, yeah.
All right, all in favor?
aye.
I'm all not in favor. Okay. So the next thing is subject on our agenda is a discussion about how to stream like sports to the web. As many of you know, we used to have a service through Verizon where we had the little jetpacks. I ended up canceling that account because of some concerns and problems we were having with Verizon, and would like to look at another means to do so. I did speak to AT&T about setting up something similar, but they did something that kind of concerned me, where they wouldn't take FCAT's tax identification number to set up the account. They needed my personal social security number, wanted to do a background check on me, which seemed a little odd that they weren't doing it on the station, that they were trying to do it through me. And just the problems that we have with Verizon, I'm not too keen giving these people my personal social security number and having something like that on my credit. Not that my credits are bad or anything, but I was a little uncomfortable with that. And I just would like to get the board's feedback on other possibilities that they know of on how to move forward with streaming the way we used to, because it is a nice service we're able to provide. It'd be good to get that going again. But I'm not crazy about these signal boosters, the way you have to set up the account to do so.
Okay, well, all right, I'll just say, I agree that sounds a little odd that they're asking for your social security. I don't get that, but it might be a financial reason. But I would look into the alternatives, because I mean, I think I've mentioned before the Teradek units that do all of that wireless communications and a streaming type of thing. Teradek, right?
Teradek, I'm gonna look that up tomorrow. Tera. Do you know how it's spelled?
Yeah, TERE or no, TERADEK, I think. But
Okay.
it'll come up. They're
I'll
they're
look into that.
a leader in that.
All
And
right, that's the.
yeah, as far as I know, they handle a lot of wireless, almost like Wi-Fi. Maybe it is Wi-Fi, but a wireless system for short range, and then on the receiving end, I think they've got streaming stuff. So it's a hardware service you're looking for, right? Or do you need some kind of subscription? I don't think you need all that.
Yeah, it's just a service to get our signals out. So
Okay, because I don't know if these require an FCC. I mean, in other words, like wireless microphones, is it on that level, or is it might be more than that, and it might need an FCC type of thing, which actually a wireless mic does. When you buy the mic, you buy the license essentially to broadcast on that frequency. Anyway, we can talk about it some more, but
why don't we do that? We should set up a Zoom call at some point and talk about it, because I
yeah,
definitely
I'll stop by. Yeah,
anything
I'll
we
stop
like
by.
dealing with AT&T and Verizon. So
Jonathan, will this problem go away with Telview?
what's that?
Will this problem disappear with Telview?
I think we would. That's an interesting question, and I can ask
Yes, Charlie. I mean,
ask Charlie about that.
it doesn't like Telview does everything we could ever think of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's a
look
good point,
into
Bob. They
that.
probably,
That's an interesting
or they
question.
recommend, they might, it's probably a third party thing, just like he was saying for the other thing, the encoding. So this, I think, happens upstream from all of what they do, but he might have some good ideas on what's
Yeah.
recommended.
So, all right, great. We'll look into that. All right, the next thing that I need to talk to the board about is getting the board's feedback or / authorization to sell some gift cards. So last year, we had FCAT employee go around trying to find underwriting for our sports. And one of the things this person did was he was given gift cards for us to sell. And it was kind of a gray area for me. Does anybody know if they're gift cards for Terrazza? It's like $25 a piece. Does anybody know if we are allowed to sell these or if that's legitimate or?
I don't understand what it is.
So basically, we were given like gift cards to sell to fundraise for the FCAT sports coverage. And apparently we get to keep all the money we sell from them, but
So Terrazza would give us gift cards that we would sell to people.
right.
I don't know.
It's something that we may need to look into then.
This would be this is kind of like almost a fundraising kind of.
Yes, I didn't know if we are allowed to do that.
I don't know.
I know of no further past practice anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that it's a liability kind of thing, but I don't know. It seems a little out of our, mission, doesn't it?
That's why I'm talking to the board about it. I wanted a good second opinion before authorizing it, so we will probably have to decline doing that then, I'm guessing.
So, I mean, we do have a form of advertising. We could put put a notice on the bulletin board for people that wanted to buy an FCAT,
I don't know if we're allowed to do that because that's technically advertising, where we can promote events and thank sponsors, but I don't think we're allowed to do that.
yeah,
It
okay.
looks like that like for instance, like I just got a notice for the Sutherland auction and we can promote that the auction's going on, but we can't advertise it for people to be there. So I'm guessing this is something that needs a little bit more research or whatever. Okay. We'll revisit that at our November meeting then. The next thing I'd like to discuss is, so January, as you all know, is when we do our annual meeting. This coming January is our 20th anniversary. And with the board's permission, I was curious if we could, instead of having the annual meeting on a Tuesday night, if there would be any objections to doing a 20th anniversary celebration on maybe the second Saturday of January and hosting a big celebratory party along with the meeting. If I was curious what the board thought about doing that.
You want us all to look up that date?
Let me go get my phone and I can look that real quick.
The second Saturday is the 10th.
So maybe doing a big birthday celebration either on the 10th or the 17th. Or maybe we could plan it as the 17th. Would be a good date.
They're both fine with me.
All right, I will make a note then in our calendar if everybody is fine that we'll do our big annual meeting and 20th anniversary celebration on the 17th. I guess Athol Community TV recently did one on a Sunday or Saturday, so.
When we would do this at FCAT, like last year.
Absolutely. And the reason why I'd rather do it on a Saturday is I'm hoping Athol did theirs on the weekend, and it looked like from the pictures I saw in the newspapers, it looked like they had a good flow of people come in. I'm hoping that instead of having something like that on a weeknight, having it on a day, especially in a month when nothing really goes on because no events ever go on in the wintertime, it might encourage people to come out and check out something neat.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So
cool.
this is, hang on, this is kind of an open house in a way.
This would be an open house 20th anniversary celebration. We make sort of a big event out of it.
Well, we always have an open house, and you know, some
Yeah,
people
we
come.
usually do it with our annual meeting, so.
Yeah, yeah.
So get like a pizza party, is that it?
Pizza party, potluck for board members and staff members to bring in, and we invite just our friends and other members of the community to come hang out. Then we do a big, of course, we'll get permission from the Sunderland Town Office, but see about hosting our big special meeting in the meeting room.
Great.
Okay.
So, no food or drink will be allowed in there, of course, because that's not our space, but in here, people be more than welcome to come and check it out.
All right.
So the next subject on our agenda is just a brief report on student opportunities for FCAT. So as we stated at our last meeting, we're starting the Chris Collins Memorial Scholarship for Frontier High School students. This is an opportunity to thank students for contributing their skills to FCAT. I need to talk to Kevin just about this, officially set up the requirements. But I think there's maybe 1 or 2 seniors he has this year that certainly would qualify for it, that have gone above and beyond. I need to talk to him. The other thing too is as I say in my report, I was at a UMass Amherst internship fair. The way this came about was one of my dance partners, I go dancing, as maybe you know, is connected with the career office at UMass Amherst, and she asked me if we had opportunities for interns. And it was something I was looking into doing. So she put me in touch with them, and we were at the career fair, and we're going to try out an internship program where we'll have a college student working with an FCAT staff member, probably a lot of on the school sports and all. But what we'll do because it is going to be unpaid, but the student will get college credit, and they'll also be given a gas stipend, no more than $20 to help reimburse travel, because it is a little bit of a distance from here to UMass. And this way they're at least getting something, because they are doing work for us, to thank for that. But this is a new program. I did 2 interviews, and I have found a student I'm going to bring on. So I'm going to get him set up with us this week, and he'll start for the fall semester. And since this is an intern, they're not going to be going out and doing stuff a staff member would be doing. They're going to be working with staff to help build their skills and resume as well. So if anybody has any further questions about that, please let me know. Just to let you know, I'm not one who's for free work like that. So, yeah, they have a lot of stuff they're buying for it, go through school too.
You
You have
seem
a job
optimistic that people will do it.
Yeah, you got a job description, John?
Yes, there is a job description that I used, and I had about 100 of them printed out, this internship, along with the new trifolds I had.
Okay.
About 100 of these.
So it's like basically a production assistant type of.
Yeah, I brought 100 of these to the internship fair. We went through all of them along with all the internship. But I got like 2 applicants for them out of the 100 students, so that's pretty good. And there were a lot of great kids to talk to, so it was definitely worth our time, and another way to get us seen in the community. And I've even had a couple of students reach out to me who weren't interested in the internship, but were interested in possible volunteer opportunities as well. So
Great.
it was a very good event. Next subject is just circling back to
Jonathan?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Blake. Hey, listen, I got to get on to another meeting, so I'm going to bag out. Are you going to be
All
around?
right, we're going to be wrapping up soon. Is there any questions or comments you have?
No, I think that I'd like to talk to you about them with Greg, the assistant town manager, but there's nothing, I'm just getting information. This is the first time I've been to the board meeting and stuff like that, but nothing serious. I just, like I said, if you're around, you maybe give me some more detail, and I don't need to be dragging you guys, your whole board into it. So.
Oh, what do you want details on? I'm just curious.
Just your whole function. I mean, I see you around. I see what's going on. It's a general thing. That's all it is.
Yeah, we could set up a time to talk. I'll email you later in the week. We could set up a little time if you want to.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming, Blake.
You can even join our board.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Board members.
Glad to hear it.
So next is just a brief thing, the overview of the FCAT bylaws. I'm gonna send out another email about that. I know everybody's been busy. We're back from the summertime, so it's something I'd like to get the ball rolling on again. So I will send everybody a draft document. I know that there was some confusion about the original one I sent. I will make those corrections and simplify it a little bit more, and I'll get that out. This week's a little busy because I'm doing a staff meeting tomorrow, but next week I'll try looking into getting that out.
Great.
Next item is public comment. Any public comment? We don't have any members of the public here, he just left. Saying the next meeting date. So this is our September meeting. Today's the 23rd, which is the 4th. Whoops, no, that's December. Well, no, which is the 4th Tuesday. The 4th Tuesday in November would be the 25th. Do we want to meet that night, which would be this week of Thanksgiving, or do we want to push ahead to the 18th, which would be the 3rd Tuesday? That way we're done before the Thanksgiving break.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, we'll
Absolutely.
set our next meeting date to the 18th then.
Okay.
So on that note, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
No. Father Kerber and Bob, you guys don't want to adjourn?
No, I do. We're
We
good.
are, we are. We
All
all
right.
aye.
Well, Steve was the only one that responded, so, all right, I'll see everybody on November
Great.
18th. Have a good evening.